Zarathustra, a play for all and none. Characters: Zarathustra, a wandering philosopher; Saint, an elderly Christian pastor; Jubila, a jubilant daemon; Cyril, serpent; Itos, eagle; King, the ruler of Bovina; Corion, an aspiring artist; Zola, a female student; Moros, soothsayer; Gravos, a haunting dwarf; Setting, the Swiss Alps and surrounding valley that houses a fictional town named Bovina; Time, late 19th, early 20th century. Act 1, Scene 1. Morning, a cave in the Swiss Alps. Zarathustra has spent the last 10 years living alone in the mountains. The cave includes a small bed, large dining table and chairs, desk, bookshelf and gramophone. Classical art hangs on the wall along with a mounted donkey's head. Zarathustra wakes, steps outside, and speaks to the sun. Great star, what would your happiness be without those for whom you shine? I've grown tired of my wisdom, like a bee that's gathered too much honey. I want to give until the wise find joy in their playfulness and poverty in their riches. Like you, I will go behind the sea and light the darkness. Bless me, quiet eye that looks upon my happiness without envy. I want to become human again. Zarathustra descends the mountain toward the town of Bovina. He resembles the Persian prophet Zoroaster, dressed in hermit's clothes. At the edge of the forest, he passes a small hut where the saint sits in deep meditation. Zarathustra tries to slip by. Quietly, the saint hears footsteps and opens his eyes. Zarathustra, can it be? Zarathustra stops, surprised. How do you know me? Many years ago you passed by saying you were carrying your ashes to the mountains. What are you doing now? Taking fire to the valleys? I am bringing humanity a gift. Zarathustra turns to exit. No, don't go. The people are suspicious of your kind. Do as I do and stay here with the animals. What is a saint doing in the forest? I am content with praising God and nature. What gift are you bringing us? Zarathustra calmly laughs. Well, what more could I give to you? God bless you, Zarathustra. Zarathustra continues on towards the town, talking to himself in disbelief. Is it possible? The old saint hasn't heard? God is dead. He reaches a large gate where Gravos stands guard. Zarathustra, my enemy, spit on these gates and turn back. Here you will find nothing and lose everything. This place is hell for your thoughts. Can't you smell the slaughtered spirits? The people's limp souls hang like dirty rags. They're all lost, angry and confused. Can't you hear them clattering and jingling with worthless jewels? They drag each other through the mud for money and power. Their cleverness craves the warmth of alcohol. Their hot-headedness seeks the chill of ghostly spirits. Everyone is sick and diseased with empty words of public opinion, chanting, I serve. You serve, we serve, so that little stars are pinned on their narrow chests. Zarathustra, on behalf of your light and goodness, spit on this city of small-souled cowards. Spit on these disrespectful, screaming scum. Only putrid, lukewarm blood runs through their veins. Here, everything disfigured, untrusting, lustful, and sickly rot together. Spit on this city and turn back. Zarathustra interrupts. Enough! Your words make me sick. Why did you live near this swamp for so long? You want to warn me? Why didn't you warn yourself? I spoke only to honor you, Zarathustra. Don't you praise the great despisers? My despising comes from love not the swamp, you foaming fool. What made you first grunt like a pig? Did no one sufficiently flatter you? Your words hurt me even when they are right. And if my words were 1,000 times right, you would always do wrong with them. I am disgusted with you and this city. The people are sick. That much is true. Life here is a slow suicide. I wish I already saw the flame that will consume it. One day my spirit will take their breath away. You like to spit and spew? Well, be careful of spitting against the wind. Gravo spits at Zarathustra, but misses and runs away, defeated, leaving keys behind. Zarathustra opens the gates. Scene 2. Day. Zarathustra enters Bovina and hears a voice in the distance. He soon finds the king on a platform, delivering a speech to the citizens of Bovina. Zarathustra hides and watches from afar. My friends, honour sleep above all things. Good sleep is no easy art. It requires a virtuous soul that knows even when to put its virtues to bed. Seek peace during the day, resolve your conflicts, or you will lie awake at night, haunted and restless. One only sleeps well with a clean conscience. In peace, your worries will dissipate with your consciousness. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The crowd applauds, and the king exits. Zarathustra sneaks his way on the platform, chuckling to himself, "What a fool! But I bet he knows how to sleep well. That kind of sleep is contagious even through a brick wall. Whoever is near this wisdom must be miserably happy. To live in order to sleep well. What sensible nonsense!" Zarathustra imitates the king, delivering his own speech. "My friends, life has been a great flood. Will you be the drought? Once the greatest sin was to disobey God, but that God has died, and the sinners with him. Now the greatest sin is to go against the earth and its meaning. Humans are a polluted stream. You must become a sea to endure them and still remain clean. What is the greatest experience you can have? It is the hour of contempt, when your happiness, reason, and virtue disgust you. When you learn to call them poor and corrupt for leading you only to miserable contentment. Have you spoken that way?" Thunder booms in the distance as he continues on with greater seriousness. Humans walk on a tightrope suspended over an abyss between animals and the future. They represent a dangerous crossing, a fearful looking back, trembling and stopping. I love those who respect deeply and despise greatly. They are like arrows flying to the future, and whoever sacrifices themselves for the earth, not for reasons beyond the stars, all who live and die by their own virtues, who cast golden words before their actions and always do more than they promise. The redeemers of the past, willing to die in the present to justify the future. The overflowing souls with free hearts who can forget themselves. They are like heavy drops that fall from the dark clouds that hang over humanity. They signal lightning and die as messengers. He pauses and speaks to himself. They do not understand me. I am not the voice for these ears. He continues, addressing the audience. The time has come for humans to plant seeds of the highest hope. The soil is still rich, but if it dries, no tall trees will be able to grow. You must have chaos inside yourself to give birth to a dancing star. But the soil is drying, and the last humans are coming. They no longer suffer from love or creation. Some of them work, but not too strenuously. Everyone wants the same. Everyone is the same. Whoever feels differently goes voluntarily into the madhouse. The audience sits silently. He reflects. Have I been in the mountains too long? There they sit and stare. I can feel their hatred and laughter. He peers out past the crowd in a trance, then brightly snaps out of it. Well, their time is almost up. Blessed are the sleepy ones, for they will soon doze off. Jubila suddenly appears, dressed like a medieval jester carrying a deadly marotte. He pokes at Zarathustra, forcing him onto a single wooden plank resembling a balance beam or tight rope. "Zarathustra, you don't belong here. Can't you see they hate you? Leave now, or the devil will drag you to hell." Zarathustra stands his ground. What you speak of does not exist. There is no devil or hell. Souls die long before bodies. Jubila grows angry. Then I will jump over you, one living over one dead." Jubila lunges and stabs Zarathustra, who falls off the plank, injured. Jubila runs frantically, scaring away the townspeople, leaving Zarathustra alone and wounded. Evening transitions to night. Scene 3. Night. Zarathustra slowly rises and carries himself back to the woods. He rests against a hollowed-out old tree and slips into unconsciousness. Dawn begins. He wakes in an epiphany. I need the living, those who follow me in order to follow themselves. I will lure many away from the shepherds and herd. Who do those old believers hate most? Creators who break their values, harvesters of new life. Between rosy dawns, a new truth has come to me. What are shepherds, herds, and corpses to me now? Never again will I speak to the people. For the last time I have spoken to the dead. In my stone sleeps an image. I have seen its shadow. Let the fragments fly as my hammer rages against its prison. My song will show creators a new bridge to the future. What are the gods to me now? Zarathustra lifts himself up and makes his way from the old tree back to Bovina, passing the saint's house once more. The saint notices Zarathustra limping and rushes to his aid. "Zarathustra, what happened? Didn't I warn you? Go to God, not the people. He is our last hope." Zarathustra motions him away. No, God is a hatred of humans, a bit of man-made madness created from weakness and suffering, from poor ignorant exhaustion desperate to reach happiness with a single leap of faith. Loving God has meant crucifying the human. The saint's voice trembles. "You have lost faith. I will pray for you." Zarathustra replies strongly, "Faith in others corrupts the faith in ourselves. I once believed as you do, but it would be humiliating to hide my head in that. Heavenly sand again. Now, I want the earth. It's a disgrace for those with a conscience to whine and pray. You reset traps for your heart when you bury your head in darkness. Your kindness is full of hatred, especially against knowledge. Who could save you from your Saviour? The old gods died long ago, but it wasn't miserable like it's often told. It happened after one of them uttered the most godless phrase, "I am the one true God. Thou shalt have no others." After that, all the gods laughed themselves to death. The saint bows his head softly. "Your jokes are cold and cruel. Have you no compassion? Better to have war and courage than that slave virtue. A good bloody war honours any cause. I even prefer shivering and chattering teeth to worshipping fire idols. You think your body is sinful. That's why you want to leave this world. But there is more wisdom in a healthy body than in the best philosophy. Let all the miserable souls die quickly. A life that is only suffering should end itself." Zarathustra walks past the saint to return to Bovina. "Are you going back to help them?" The exhausted, withering mob's not my enemy. Most of them began dying the moment they were born and live only for brief pleasures and self-harm. I'm not awakening those living graves. Then, what is your purpose? Whoever confesses all of themselves shocks and enrages. Suppose you fail? I can always find reason to triumph in that. The saint smiles suspiciously. I'm not so convinced that you are godless, Zarathustra. You wield an artful malice, yet your will remains a dark mystery to me. Some muddy their waters to appear deep. Yours are clear, but I cannot see to the bottom. Zarathustra places his hand on the saint's shoulder. I have swallowed too much gold. If anyone knew, they'd rip apart my soul. How could they possibly endure my happiness? Zarathustra turns to exit as the saint calls out, "Careful! You may freeze to death from your knowledge." Zarathustra stops and smiles. My fate is as innocent as a child. It is my goodwill that speaks with coldness and endures pity. All the while my warm feet run over sunny mountain tops, laughing, dancing, and singing. My work and war are just beginning. The future will bring new winds. Soon, the earth will be a place of recovery and a sign of new hope. I must go now, alone. And you go now, alone. The world is still unexhausted and unexplored. Zarathustra leaves the saint and follows the path back to Bovina. Scene 4. Day. Zarathustra strides toward Bovina. Aitos and Cyril come to warn him. My animals, proud eagle and wise serpent, Zarathustra, return to your solitude. These small humans will sting you everywhere. They will be frightened of your wisdom. The mob understands little of what is truly great. My animals, my happiness injures me at home. The sufferers will be my physicians, not those clamouring actors. They all think the world revolves around them and their capricious moods. You know it has always revolved invisibly around creators of new values. Can you endure them? Can you injure your pride with humility and love those who will despise you? Or make friends with the deaf who will never hear you? Can you fall sick, reject all comfort, and offer your hand to the ghost that frightens you? Can you abandon your cause the moment it succeeds? Zarathustra, go home or you will be stung all over by these infinite poisonous flies. All that's truly great happens far away from the people and fame. Many proud buildings have been destroyed by raindrops and weeds. It is not your destiny to shoo flies. Their bloodless souls crave blood. They will sting you in all innocence until you are bleeding in 100 places. What does it matter if these cowards praise you as a god or scold you as the devil? Even when you are kind, they feel small and despised by you. In your presence, their strength leaves like smoke from a dying fire, and they glow with invisible revenge. They blame all who live greatly and are unworthy of you. Your quiet pride runs counter to their tastes, and what is great in you will always make them more poisonous and like flies. Zarathustra, fly away to your love of the future. Flee to your cave where the air is rough and strong. It is not your destiny to shoo flies. The animals fly and slither away. Zarathustra presses on. Scene 5. Zarathustra sees Corion leaving the gates of Bovina. He follows closely, then speaks up from behind. Are you looking for something? Corion turns around, surprised and embarrassed. I am leaving. Zarathustra places his hand on a nearby tree. If I wanted to shake this tree with my hands, I would not be able to. But the wind, which we do not see, twists and bends it wherever it wants. It is by invisible hands that we are twisted, and bent the worst. I was once like you. It is not doubt, but certainty that drives one into madness. Corion listens intently, then looks off to the forest. I don't belong there any more. Zarathustra continues, humans are like trees. The more they aspire to the heights, the more their roots drive into the dark and deep. Wisdom needs violent and courageous warriors. You were taught that solitude is wrong. Happiness with the herd is more ancient than happiness with the self. Your evil instincts thirst for the stars, but if you break your common conscience with them, it will be painful. As long as a good conscience is linked to the herd, the individual carries a bad one. You want to leave? But do you have a right to? Are you a first mover? A self-rolling wheel? Can you command the stars to revolve around you? What if at the top you're all alone and no one trusts you or speaks to you anymore? Zarathustra points to a tree at the top of a distant mountain. That tree stands lonely in the mountains, high above humans and animals. If it wanted to speak, who could understand it? So high has it grown. The mob reduces all experience to ghosts. They call these ghosts love, happiness, pain, and suffering. Some experiences are too valuable for words. Isn't there madness in love and reason in madness? Better to say the heights and depths of your soul cannot be named. Many convulse with ambition and puff themselves up, only to become emptier. Did you have the right to escape? What if the higher you climb, the more you must hate yourself? Corian considers carefully and responds, I want to be free from... Zarathustra abruptly interrupts, as if that mattered to me. What are you free for? Great trees tie strong roots around rocks. Can you create your own good and evil, and follow your own ruling law as its judge and avenger? It's awful to be a lonely star in an icy void. You feel strong now, but one day loneliness will wear you down, and you will scream everything is a lie. Certain feelings want to kill the lonely, and if they fail, then those feelings too must die. Are you capable of that? Of being a murderer? Your greatest enemy waits for you in those forests. Corian looks into the dark trees. Who? Zarathustra touches Corian on the shoulder. You. Are you ready to burn in your own flame? How else will you become new? You will be your own heretic, wizard, prophet, fool, doubter and villain, loving and despising yourself like those who truly love. Many have dreamt of being heroes and lost all hope in those woods. The wings of their spirit broke, and now they crawl around like worms with no goals beyond the brief pleasures of the day. Never lose hope in the hero of your soul. Go now, find your own and love it, for it will kill you. Corian stumbles into the forest with tears in his eyes. Zarathustra shouts back at him, and beware Gravos, the spirit of gravity. He never laughs. Scene 6. Zarathustra approaches the entrance of Bovina. Gravos no longer stands guard. He passes through the gates and finds Moros waiting for him. Behold, he who walks among the animals. Solve my riddle, Zarathustra. What type of animal is the human? Zarathustra humorously answers, the one with red cheeks. The entire history of humanity has been nothing but shame, shame and more shame. Moros interjects, wrong. Humans are the compassionate animal. No other animal on earth equals their sympathy for others. Zarathustra argues back. What has caused more suffering on earth than that? God himself died from pitying humans. All great love rises above pity. If the heart is lost, Zarathustra, the head quickly runs away too. Zarathustra replies, pity is often nothing more than a trick to put others in debt, and being in debt makes humans vengeful, no matter what face it wears. The sting of conscience teaches one to sting. Small, petty thoughts are even worse than evil actions. Evil acts openly reveal a disease, but petty thoughts creep and hide like an insidious infection until the entire body decays. That's why I let the poor pluck fruit from my tree. It causes them less shame. No matter, Zarathustra. The people all secretly harbour ambitions to be tyrants. Don't trust them. They're a low species, descendants of the hangman and bloodhound whose souls lack far more than honey. Most of them only pretend to be good to avoid punishments or gain rewards. These moral souls dress up their cowardly laziness in pretty-sounding names like tolerance and acceptance. Above all, they believe in the justice of equality. How they love to commit violence on its behalf. To them, equality means hurt the powerful. With hidden joy, they drown the world in injustice to elevate themselves and scratch out the eyes of their eye enemies. But underneath those invented weapons, they're impotent and jealous. Zarathustra ponders, then responds brightly, I seek to deliver humans from revenge. For my justice says humans are not equal, nor should they want to be. But Zarathustra, isn't a little revenge more human than none? Zarathustra answers immediately. Repaying evil with good puts others to shame. I would rather find the good in my enemy's evil. And if someone curses me, I don't want to bless them. Better to join a little in the cursing. After all, shared wrongs are half right. It is nobler to admit you are wrong than prove you are right, especially when you are right. Moros laughs. One must be rich enough for that. But why bother? The tender soil is breeding death. The great drought is on its way. Zarathustra becomes serious. No, the earth is still free for great souls. Many will grow tired of the false words they have learned from fools and liars. Moros shakes Zarathustra's hand. No matter. Come, go. I'll see you again soon, and you'll be singing my tune. Zarathustra laughs. Is that so, prophet? But when has a dragon ever died from a snakebite? Zarathustra continues by himself through the streets of Bovina. Scene 7. As Zarathustra travels through Bovina, he notices that the town looks different. The architecture has gotten smaller, more democratic and undifferentiated. He encounters row after row of small, identical residential houses. Did a child take these from a toy box? Perhaps another child should throw them back in. He knocks on the door of a small house, and the king opens it, startling Zarathustra. You live in this doll house? Of course. Right. What do kings matter anymore? The king recognizes Zarathustra. Wait, I know you. You were the one who spoke before the people. Never have I heard such hateful words. Why have you returned? I call myself Zarathustra. To this city I am like a wolf to dogs. Your people enjoy hunting and killing free spirits. To them good is whatever tames and domesticates. I have come to warn you. Your people pretend to be happy, but deep down they are all miserable and depressed. They act strong and righteous, but they have quit on life and are becoming smaller and smaller by the minute. Even their greatest, without false praise and accolades, is all too human. Their puny hearts try to please everyone because they only want one thing, that no one hurts them. They call it morality, but it's hidden weakness. They smirk and lie like stupid, confident cowards crumbling in comfort. Worse, their cobwebs catch the future of humanity and suck its blood. They have chained you too. The mob stands like a master over you, their well-fed jackass, glittering in his golden harness, pulling around whatever they desire, forcing your mouth to chant I serve, you serve, we serve to secure the happiness of a fly. Free yourself from the mob's rule. Free yourself and take your broken heart into the godless desert. Or do you have the courage to stand thirsty and burning in the sand without succumbing to dark comforts or delusive oases? The lion's will is hungry, violent, fearless, fear-inspiring, and free from the happiness of slaves. You want to help them? But if you take the weight off the mob's shoulders, then you remove their spirit. And if you cure the blind, they will curse you for seeing too many bad things. And if you heal the crippled, they will run away with their vices. That is what the mob teaches its teachers. Humans are in ruins, disfigured and incomplete. Even I am disabled. Let them shrink by the hour, poorer and more sterile. The dry grass will soon crave fire. The king sits down solemnly. Now is not the time for that. Zarathustra replies excitedly. What time matters that has no time for me? The past has always been random and fragmented. 1,000 people with 1,000 goals. How would I live as a human if I did not strive to unify the future? Zarathustra collects himself and looks disappointedly at the king. Why do I speak where no one can hear me? Zarathustra exits the house. Scene 8. Zarathustra strolls through a yellow-green park, scorched in places by lack of rainfall. There he finds Zola crying softly on a bench. She notices him and brushes her tears away. Have you lost your spirit? Zola looks up, bewildered. Go away. Zarathustra continues, unfazed. Your spirit is made sacred with tears. To live means to struggle to become. Zola snaps back. Poets lie too much. Zarathustra laughs. You're right. We know too little and are bad learners, so we simply must lie. Zola shrugs him off. I prefer silence. Zarathustra becomes serious. Silence is worse. All suppressed truths become poisonous. I was once like you. Disgust gnawed away at my life. The past and its gnashing teeth haunted me, and I suffered because I could not go back and change it. But the spirit that suffers eternal punishment will crave eternal revenge, and every spirit of revenge is madness, even the one called justice. You must free yourself from it. How? You must want the past as it was, exactly as it was. Then you will unite yourself with all of time. But be careful. Those who are not birds should not build their nests over the abyss. Zola examines Zarathustra's face, then replies, Are you a teacher? No, I turned my back on education. There's more life in the underworld. Zola smiles and Zarathustra continues. Scholars pursue knowledge like a squirrel cracks open nuts. My soul sat hungry at their table for too long. They feed off their students and still remain thin. We'd be in a sorry state if we couldn't laugh. I need fresh air. My thoughts often burn myself. I'd rather sleep on animal skins than their honours and decorum, or be a day labourer in Hades than near today's hollow-chested teachers. He controls himself and speaks calmly, without resentment. But I'm not angry with them. To be prickly of tiny annoyances is wisdom for hedgehogs. I carry a heavy burden. What do the bugs and worms matter? Even my mistakes live over their heads. I'm bringing humanity a gift. I know why you suffer. You want to create a world you can kneel before again. Well, only creators believe in believing. Follow your senses, and the world will be newly created by you and your values. Zola interrupts. My values? Zarathustra answers. To value is the highest love of your soul. It is the formation of taste, judgment, preference, the physiological scales of quality and rejection. But in order to create, you must destroy. Thus, the highest evil belongs to the highest good. How do I create my own values? Zarathustra hesitates, then continues. Many have been crucified for that. In order to create values, you must first learn a secret about life. One that I would rather die than live without. What secret? Life is an inexhaustible will to power. It continuously overcomes itself, increasing knowledge with agony. There has been no greater power than the values of good and evil. The people call good whatever allows their kind of life to rule, conquer, and shine to the awe and envy of their neighbours. And evil is whatever weakens their lustre, rule, and control. All values battle in the war for good, evil, life, and power. If you do not create and obey your own law, you will be ruled by another's. Zola reflects quietly and then responds. What kind of laws? Zarathustra replies with anger. Decide for yourself. You repay a teacher badly if you only remain a pupil. Zarathustra touches Zola on the shoulder. Let everything that cannot stand these truths be broken. There are many houses to build. Zarathustra exits the park and winds through the town towards the ocean as the sun sets. Scene 9. Night. Zarathustra walks alone along the shoreline and looks up at the full moon. Why do they praise you, bright moon? You cursed, jealous reflection, with no warmth or light of your own, cursed, for you will never give birth. He looks away and continues walking. My seeds are planted. Many moons surround me, reflecting my light against their dead wills. Well, haven't those rhymed for eternity? Loving and dying. One always risks death in order to create. He gazes back at the moon. Whoever does not believe in themselves always lies and hides their worms behind moonlight. But I know what's underneath. Tomorrow your pale love will fade as the day arrives with its heart for the earth. All solar love rises over the sea, drinking in its depths. That is what knowledge means to me, that the deep shall rise to my heights. A flash of lightning cracks and Jubila suddenly appears, frightening Zarathustra. Zarathustra, are you still alive? You know it, but won't say it. Take your pride to that distant island. The dark waters of all sadness, pain and misery are waiting for you. Zarathustra, the Antichrist. Jubila lunges at Zarathustra, who narrowly avoids being struck. Jubila laughs and disappears. Zarathustra cautiously totters along the shoreline as thunder rolls and the wind increases. He makes his way to a small, lighted beach hut in the distance. Right before he knocks, the door opens, and Moros appears with a warm, stern smile. "Come in. I've been expecting you." Moros and Zarathustra sit at a small table lit by candlelight. Rain falls outside. A storm's coming. "You can rest here. Thank you." "You're wasting your time, Zarathustra. Why do you let these small humans deceive you?" Zarathustra's eyes shine in the candlelight as he answers. "To create the possibility for what they might become. If I didn't close my ears, how else could they be my anchor?" Moros pours a glass of water and hands it to Zarathustra. "You face a treacherous conflict. One hand bound by chains to humans, and the other reaching with a vision that ascends beyond them. When will your cold thoughts be refreshed by hot-handed action? I am waiting for humans to become better and more evil. Right now, their evil is laughable, especially what they call the devil. What's great is so foreign to their souls they'd probably call my goodness the devil. I've grown tired of them. Even their best is still horrifying. Then set your sails towards the future, Zarathustra. It won't always be this way. The wild cats will evolve into tigers and the toads into crocodiles. The good hunter shall have good hunting." Zarathustra calmly declines. "I'm in no hurry. I enjoy watching the actors. For life to be pleasing, it must be played well. I'll let them dress up as the good and just, and I will disguise myself too and misjudge us both. That is your human prudence. Your room is down there. Good night." Moros exits. Zarathustra moves to the bedroom, falls asleep quickly, and dreams. In his dream, he stands outside guarding a Gothic castle perched on a hill. 3 loud knocks sound at the gate below. He descends, shouting, "Alpa, Alpa, who is carrying their ashes up the mountain?" There is no answer. He shouts again, louder, "Alpa, Alpa, who is carrying their ashes up the mountain?" He arrives and tries desperately to open the gates, but fails. He falls to his knees in despair when a violent wind tears them open. A giant coffin rises from the ground, releasing loud, piercing laughter, and strange images of angels, children, owls, and butterflies as big as humans. Zarathustra screams, wakes, and gasps for air. Moros bursts through the door. "Zarathustra! Zarathustra! Wake up! Wake up! The drought is coming! The drought is coming! What a terrible vision! A great sadness will descend upon humanity. All our work was in vain. In vain! A new belief will echo throughout every land. Everything is empty. Everything is the same. All has been. All life will scream it with sore throats. All is empty. All is the same. All has been. Every fruit will rot. Every wine will sour. The fields and hearts will burn with evil eyes. All the seas will dry up. Not a single one will be left to drown in. Even the fire will become exhausted. They will all cry and wander across shallow swamps. Dead inside. Moros sighs and mutters off stage to himself. Zarathustra sits in grave seriousness. A long twilight is on its way. How will I save my light? Zarathustra exits the hut and returns to the beach in the middle of the night. The wind continues to howl as he glances at the dark island. He makes his way to a dock, unties a small rowboat, and rows in the dark, stormy ocean. The night is here, the water is flowing, and my soul is a wave. The night is here, the songs of lovers are waking up, and my soul is a song. I crave love and speak its language. I am light but want to be night. My loneliness encloses itself in light. If I were darkness, how I'd soak up the stars. But I live in my own light, drinking the flames back into myself, not knowing the happiness of receiving. My poverty is that my hand never stops giving. How I envy those waiting eyes, lit up in the nights of longing. What misery of all givers, and darkening of their sun! My hunger grows from beauty, my fullness wants to want. They take from me, but do I touch their souls? I want to hurt what my light touches, to rob once I have given, so that I may give again. To empty hands, withdrawing one as the other reaches out, pausing like a waterfall. Revenge and loneliness spring from my completeness. My happiness in giving dies with giving. Where is my heart? Where are my tears? My eyes no longer overflow at beggars. What loneliness of all givers! What silence of all who shine! Bright suns revolve in space, following a merciless orbit, speaking to the dark. But to me, they are silent. Hostility of light against light. Only the dark and nocturnal create warmth from the stars and gain life from their light. The ice surrounds me and burns my hands. A thirst within me longs to be thirsty. The night is here. Why must I be light? Thirsting after the dark and lonely? The night is here. My words pause like a waterfall. The night is here. The water is flowing, and my soul is a wave. The night is here. The songs of lovers are waking up, and my soul is a song. Scene 10. Zarathustra walks ashore, climbing through the dark, maze-like jungle deeper into the heart of the island. My loneliest journey has begun. Peak and abyss are joining. Who could follow me here? My own footsteps erase the path behind me. In the end, one only experiences oneself. He reaches a vast, foggy cemetery. A small figure sits on top of an empty tombstone in the centre. As Zarathustra gets closer, the blurry figure is revealed as Gravos. That old jester tricked you, you philosopher's stone. You threw yourself up high, but what goes up must come down. Zarathustra remains calm. I can't sit still for long. My destiny is to wander. O Zarathustra, all humans are cruel cowards. Nothing makes them happy like tragedies and crucifixions. Can't you hear their hidden glee when they curse at life, or call themselves sinners? And when they invented hell, behold, that's when they found their heaven. You're still bitter for what they did to you, for murdering the wonders of your youth. What's all the evil in the world compared to that? Zarathustra painfully remembers. You were healthy and wanted to soar with the birds. Your joyful wisdom thought all days were holy. Then they assaulted you with hideous ghosts and sold your nights into sleepless agony. You stood ready to dance and sing over the heavens. Then their songs of misery and despair killed your happy feet. And when you faced what was most difficult and celebrated your victory, then they made those you love scream out against you in pain. Your greatest story has gone untold. Your highest hope remains unredeemed. Now death creeps on your eyelids with light footsteps. Zarathustra speaks with courage. No, death is no curse to me. I have already passed through 100 painful births. I know the heart-wrenching final hours. Much suffering and dying are needed for transformation. Don't make it too easy, Zarathustra. It takes more courage to make an end than to begin again. All physicians and poets know that. The difficulty is surrendering to it. Too many die late, clinging and rotting on the branch. A large tree branch falls above Zarathustra, who narrowly avoids it and speaks strongly. Whoever has a goal and an heir wants to die at the right time. They die surrounded by hope as a light and promise to the living. In death, my spirit will shine like a sunset, so that humans may love the earth more. Gravos shouts back in anger. Death kills without asking. He stabs Zarathustra, who falls to his knees in the open grave and speaks with pain. My will cannot be destroyed. Silent and unchanged, it marches on. I'm indestructible only in my heel. You think all humans are cowards? Zarathustra struggles to his feet and sits on the tombstone. But I sit on these ruins prepared to shatter even death. For only where there are graves are there resurrections. Gravos mocks him. Oh, Zarathustra, I'm not finished. Do not hide from yourself. The truth is crooked. You know it, but won't say it. Zarathustra cries out, overwhelmed. I can't. It's beyond my strength. Gravos cruelly shouts back. Say it. Zarathustra falls to his knees. I can't. Who am I? I'm not even worthy of dying from it. Gravos laughs. Oh, Zarathustra, your fruit is ripe, but you are not ripe enough for it. Well then, the bear must go back into his lonely cave, and this time without joy. Zarathustra begs. No, no, I don't want to. What do you matter, Zarathustra? Say it. Solve my riddle. Two paths meet in every moment, each stretching to eternity. Do these paths eternally contradict? Say it. Time is a circle. Gravos disappears in the fog, leaving Zarathustra to himself. The idea of eternal recurrence overwhelms him. Has everything already happened? Have we already existed? You and me, whispering about eternity? Won't we return again? And every other moment? All returning exactly the same. For eternity. A dog howls in the distance. Gravos reappears, throws a black snake onto Zarathustra, then vanishes. The snake forces its way into his mouth, symbolizing the Ouroboros. During the struggle, Zarathustra bites down, severs its head, and spits it onto the stage. He collapses to the ground, exhausted. After a moment, he whispers to himself. The dew falls when the night is silent. The quietest words bring the storm. Thoughts that guide the world travel on doves' wings. I have spoken, but my words have not arrived yet. They think I am lost or mad. What does their heckling and confusion matter? I travel my own path as a shadow of what's to come. Zarathustra falls asleep. Scene 11. Morning. Zarathustra wakes by the shore. He feels recovered from the night and addresses the bright, clear sky. Heaven above, pure and deep. Abyss of light. You cloak your stars and speak the wisdom of silence. Don't all gods conceal their beauty? We have been friends from the beginning, you and I, sharing sunlight and sorrow. What haven't we learned together? You taught me how to curse the drifting half-souled clouds, and that the seeds of stars are mixed in everything. The most ancient nobility sees heaven in all of fate, and baptizes all things in eternal waters. Now our bright eyes smile over vast distances as guilt and slavery steam beneath us like rain. Pure heaven above, divine dance of fate. Did I just speak the unspeakable? Zarathustra rows back to Bavina. He stops for a moment and floats at sea. My life! Alone with the pure heavens and open sea, I drift with peace in my heart. What have I not given for my living plantation of thoughts? What wouldn't I give to see their dawn? One day they will stand as living lighthouses of invincible life. I am in the middle of my work. The water watches me with treacherous beauty. I must first perfect myself. All great self-love is a sign of creation. He resumes rowing. My life. Give my creations my happiness. I am ready to suffer the deepest pain and misery. Heaven of me, shy and glowing. A new day is dawning, so let us part. Zarathustra crosses the sea. Reaching Bovina, he passes around the edge of the city walls and returns to the forest. After 7 days, he arrives back at his cave. Clean air and joyful silence. I am home. I was more alone down there than I ever was here. I will always seem wild and strange to them. I can finally speak freely again. Down there, everyone cackles. No one listens, and nothing turns out well. You can ring wisdom in with bells, but shopkeepers out-jingle it with pennies. They're all miserable and poor in spirit, lying and stinging each other for attention and pity. How they stifle the air for free souls. Just being near them teaches one to lie, sting, and sleep. My best wisdom was to forget, move along, hide my riches, and swallow my words. Now my greatest danger lies behind me. There's nothing to be ashamed of here. No questions or complaints. Even time feels lighter. Here, the words of all being open up before me. Hallelujah! To finally escape everything human. Zarathustra sneezes and Cyril cordially responds. Gesundheit. Intermission. Act 2. Scene 1. Night. Zarathustra sleeps in his cave and dreams the same dream from Act 1. He guards the Gothic castle, hears 3 loud knocks, descends, struggles to open them, and falls to his knees. The wind surges, tears the gates open, and a coffin rises up, releasing strange images and shrieking laughter. Zarathustra wakes and walks outside the cave, searching over the valley. My will, the end of all need, my necessity, keep me from a small victory, destination of my soul, save me for a great destiny, who was not defeated by their victory. Keep me ready with lightning, ready for myself and my hidden will, a bow wanting its arrow, an arrow wanting its star, a full star, shining, pierced and honoured. My will, the end of all need, my necessity. Save me for a great victory. Zarathustra enters his cave and falls down on the floor, overwhelmed. Aitos and Cyril rush to him. He catches his breath and speaks calmly. My animals, tell me the meaning of my dream. It is midnight at the Castle of Death. I am guarding the coffins when I hear 3 loud knocks at the gate. I run down shouting Alpa, Alpa, who is carrying their ashes up the mountain. But there is no answer. I pull on the gates with all my might, but they won't open. Then a violent wind rushes in, and a giant coffin rises up and releases loud, piercing laughter and flickering images of angels, children, and giant butterflies. Cyril replies without hesitation. What is difficult about that? You dreamed the dream of your enemies. Don't they stand guard at the gates of death, rattling gloomy keys? Aren't you the violent wind and colourful coffin filled with frightening images of laughter and life? And just as you came to your senses and woke to yourself, won't they awaken and find you? Zarathustra considers carefully. Well, perhaps there is still a sea left to drown in, after all. Zarathustra falls back asleep. The night passes and the morning sun rises. Zarathustra groans and shields his eyes from the intruding light. Go away! It's too early. Aitos and Cyril hurry to his side. Zarathustra, wake up. The world is waiting for you. My animals, how lovely are words and sounds. They are like rainbows connecting what is eternally apart. Humans dance over everything with language, forgetting that each soul belongs to its own world. What a beautiful foolishness. Aitos interrupts him. Don't speak. You are still recovering. Go outside with the roses, bees and songbirds. Silent, you fools! You know my comforts well, how cruelly you watched me suffer. But the dawn came too soon. I was having another dream, this time about human goodness on earth, sex, power, and selfishness. Zarathustra. What has been cursed more often than those? Weighty statements require weighty explanations. Zarathustra changes clothes as he describes. Sex, a thorn and dagger for despisers of the body. The masses burn in its slow fire as life begins again, laughing and correcting for its mistakes. For the weak and weary, a sweet poison. For innocent hearts, a garden of happiness. And for the lion-hearted, the wine of wines. Sex symbolizes the highest hope of the future, giving thanks to the present. Zarathustra pauses. That will do. I don't want pigs to break into my garden. Power, a living flame and earthquake that tears into the hollow and rotten, crawling before it makes one lower than a snake. It torments the cruel, teaching a terrible hatred that in the end destroys itself. But it can also lift the pure and lonely to self-sufficient heights. There they shine with a glowing love that paints crimson promises on earthly skies. The best power is like the mountain running to the valley, uniting the highest and lowest through the giving of itself. Selfishness. Not the sick kind, a healthy selfishness of a higher body and soul. Nothing is more beautiful, refreshing, or triumphant. Everything becomes a mirror around it, adopting its virtues of self-enjoyment and self-protection. Carefully it plants the words good and evil like sacred trees in the forest of self-creation, forbidding all that it hates, which is everything anxious, complaining, and miserable. It despises all wisdom that wallows in grief, saying, "Life is meaningless." It looks down upon the shy, suspicious, and whoever wants promises instead of actions. Lowest of all, it places the humble, submissive, and dog-like who never defend themselves. The always suffering, yet always patient and satisfied, for that is the way of slaves. Honourable selfishness spits on slave-like civility no matter what it serves, and views everything fake, submissive, and broken-spirited as evil. Only cowards exhausted from the world want to be selfless, and for good reason. Loving oneself is the most subtle and patient of all the arts. We dig up our own treasures last. There you have it. Sex, power, and selfishness, judged by an earthly sword. Cyril responds, Zarathustra, your tastes are hot red and deep yellow. Morality is a disease more harmful than any evil. The people were born and bred in its lies and sacrifice the future to it. Its foreignness kills their spirit and prevents them from loving themselves. In fear and weakness, they run to their neighbours. Selflessness, chastity, poverty, sympathy, tolerance, surrender. The preaching of death has been called holy. Now life rejects itself with a good conscience. Their morality means denying life. They must learn to create their own good and evil, to proudly say I, yes, and know themselves. Zarathustra rejoices. Your hatred has divine powers. What wisdom there is in the dirt of the world. They are not ready for that yet, but the sea is storming. That much is true. They are beginning to tire of their wisdom. Well, Zarathustra, if they cannot be taught to fly, then they should learn to fall faster. A few are starting to seek you. Zarathustra looks out over the valleys. There are many ways to my cave, and many dark paths where not a single hope flashes any more. The weak will lose themselves along the way and cry out, why did we try at all? The first are always sacrifices. Only the mob wants to live easily and for free. Noble souls want nothing for free, least of all life. Aetos interjects, not happiness. Zarathustra shakes his head. My heavy happiness won't leave me alone. I do not strive for that. I am concerned with my work. Is that why you are becoming such a dreadful mess? That happens to every fruit as it ripens. Zarathustra, go outside and climb today. You'll see, the right ones are rising to you. Zarathustra excitedly prepares to leave. A fine idea. And I will bait them with honey. Honey makes even bears and evil birds stick out their tongues. Fewer and fewer will climb up to these heights. Each mountain is more difficult and sacred. Right now, they want to unlearn their will by adopting mine. But they must still find their own way. Zarathustra packs and exits the cave alone. He ascends the mountain, grinning to himself. Honey! How ridiculous! After some time, he pauses to rest and catches a glimpse of the old bell at the top of the mountain. What will happen when that old bell strikes midnight? He resumes hiking and eventually reaches the summit around sunset. He touches the old bell with reverence, then excitedly ties a large, dull iron fishing hook to the bell rope and rings it 3 times with a semi-mad exuberance. Open up, human abyss. Bring me your shiny fish and crabs. Bait them with my happiness. Drip sweet honey into the belly of all black misery. I once told myself, become who you are. Well, this is who I am, a mountain fisherman. Even if it's foolish, it's still better than becoming solemn and impatient down there. The great human kingdom must come. When? What difference does that make? There is endless time for fishing. I will wait here, neither patient nor impatient, surrounded by old broken values and new half-written ones. Scene 2. Night. Zarathustra sits peacefully next to the old bell. He lies down on his back and gazes at the stars. Sweet silence, noise murders all thought. My soul, which of us should be thankful? You taught me how to say no like a storm and yes like the clearest sky. You showed me a loving hatred that blew away the clouds of petty shame and deceitful virtue. With new and old wisdom, you restored my freedom to create. Who knows the joys of the future like you? I poured out the longing of every night and sun over you. Now you wait like a vine of golden grapes. There is no soul more loving, understanding, or full. The past and future live together in you. Now you peer over the raging seas, smiling and searching. Who could see your smile and not cry? Only your thankfulness keeps you from tears. He holds back his tears. Well, if you won't cry, then you must sing. Let your sadness rest in the joy and power of future songs that calm the seas. He speaks to himself. That was the last I had. Now I have truly given everything. My soul, which of us should be thankful? Sing, and let it be me. He hums a tune and falls asleep. At midnight, the old bell chimes. Frightened, Zarathustra wakes and rushes down the mountain without looking back, proclaiming with sudden energy, "Beware the midnight air! Awake from sleep! The world is deep, and suffers everywhere. How could I not long for the eternal ring? The wind howls. If my wrath ever shattered graves and moved mountains, if my laughter blew away old decrepit words, if I rejoiced at the graves of ancient gods, by loving and honouring the earth, how could I not long for the eternal ring? If a single creative breath ever came to me, if I soared on my own wings to my own heaven, if I swam playfully in the deep waters of light, watching necessity compel fate to dance like stars, how could I not long for the eternal ring? If my laughing lightning was followed by long thunderous action, uniting good and evil, if my sails journeyed into boundless, undiscovered waters, if I love the sea when it contradicts me in anger, how could I not long for the eternal ring? If happy evil lives under my rosebeds, if my Alpha and Omega want all heaviness to become light, and all spirits to be dancing birds, how could I not long for the eternal ring? The wind dies down in the eye of the storm. Whoever rules over their passions and masters their virtues longs for a higher body, a first movement, a child. I have never met a woman I wanted to have children with, except for eternity. A holy marriage wills to create higher life. So how could I not long for the eternal marriage ring? The ring of recurrence. Far from his cave, Zarathustra disappears into the dark woods. Scene 3. Dawn. After spending the night in the woods, Zarathustra finishes the hike back to his cave and finds Moros waiting to greet him. "Welcome, miserable prophet. I am pleased to see you. Have the young hearts already surrendered? Well, I knew better than to believe in those springtime meadows. Only corpses and jesters are left. What's sad about that? Let the wilted leaves fall faster." Moros speaks with grave seriousness. "Zarathustra, whoever you are or want to be, you will not be stranded here much longer. The waves of suffering are rising around these mountains and will soon carry you away. Listen, can't you hear them?" Zarathustra hears a long, evil cry coming from the valley. "What does that matter to me? Zarathustra, I have come to lead you to your final sin." The cry is heard again, louder, longer, and closer. They are crying out for you. Zarathustra nervously sits down on a nearby stone. "Who?" Moros shouts louder. "But you already know that." Zarathustra paces frantically. "What do they want? What do they want with me?" Moros mocks him. "You don't look so cheerful to me. Be honest. There are no more sacred lands, no golden treasure troves of happiness, only caves and hiding places. Learn to dance, Zarathustra, or even you will fall. Life has become meaningless, and nothing helps any more." Zarathustra recovers, bright and sure. "Be quiet, you morning rain cloud. There are still joyful lands. I will find these sufferers at once. Perhaps they are facing something evil? Zarathustra, I know you want to get rid of me. You'd rather run into the forest looking for evil, but what good will all that do? In the evening you'll be back, and I'll be waiting." Zarathustra prepares to leave. "So be it. What is mine belongs to my guests. And if you find any honey, lick it up, you growling bear. It might sweeten your soul. In the evening we will both be cheerful, and you will dance to my songs as my dancing bear." Moros shakes his head no. Zarathustra playfully continues. "No? You don't believe it? Well, cheer up, old bear, for I too am a prophet." Scene 4. Early morning. Zarathustra, staff in hand, pursues the cries of suffering in the forest. Soon he spots the king nervously walking. The king hears footsteps. "Who's there?" "Show yourself." Zarathustra remains hidden. The king mutters, "Having no society spoils manners. Then again, what I am leaving but society and its good manners. Anything is better than the false, disrespectful mob. I'm nothing but ancient pomp for those stupid power-hagglers. The mere thought of them suffocates me. Everything is rotten and mixed up in every way. Saint, gentleman, criminal, and every other beast in Noah's Ark. What do kings matter any more?" Zarathustra pops out of the bushes. "I once said something like that. What are you doing in my realm?" The king steps forward with admiration. "Zarathustra, I finally learned the greatest misfortune is when those in power are not also the best and highest. I came to find you, the highest ruler left on earth." Zarathustra hears another cry of suffering in the distance and motions with his staff. "Then take that path. It leads to my cave. I would be honored if a king waited there." The king chuckles. What else are kings good for today, besides sitting and waiting? They part ways. Zarathustra enters a swamp and accidentally steps on Zola, who is lying down with her arms submerged in swamp water. "Ouch! Watch where you're going, clumsy hermit." Zarathustra begins beating her with his staff. She cries out, "Stop! Stop! Stop!" Zarathustra recovers his senses and laughs. "Forgive me, Zarathustra. Is that you?" Zola lifts herself up. Bloody water runs down her arm, which is covered with little bite marks. "Are you all right? What were you doing? Did something bite you? My cave is not far. Do you want to look after your wounds there?" Zola speaks with bitter resentment. "I've thrown away everything because of you. You said the spirit cuts into itself. I feel like I've lost my senses." Zarathustra nods his head in agreement. "I lived that way for a long time. You strange human, how much I learn from you. But there is much to clear up between us. You need the sun. You've been in the shade so long your spirit's grown pale. I can see the hatred in your eyes. You have the strength of a bull. Good. Now you must learn the eyes of an angel." Zarathustra hears another cry of suffering. "I must go, but I would like to see you again. The path is there. Be a welcomed guest tonight. I want to make up for stepping on you." Scene 5. Mid-morning, Zarathustra exits the swamp and passes through a section of large, dark trees. Behind a large tree, he sees a figure writhing and gasping on the ground. "Help me! Help me!" Zarathustra proceeds with caution until he recognizes that it is Jubila. "Get up, fool! Come on! Up!" Jubila dramatically continues. "No one loves me! No one loves me! God used to watch all my suffering. He knew my secret thoughts. He listened to my breathing, my heartbeat. What did he want? Why didn't he ever say anything? I wanted him to leave me alone. But now he's gone, and no one loves me anymore. Will he ever come back? Pain is my only happiness." Zarathustra starts beating Jubila with his staff. "Enough, you actor. I'm not falling for it. Get up, buffoon." Jubila laughs maniacally. "You believed me at first. I saw it in your eyes. The poor jester, no one loves him." Zarathustra reprimands him. "You've fooled those far more sceptical than me, magician. Lying is in your nature. But I know that deep down you were serious. Busy tricking the world, you have no lies left for yourself. All frauds who attempt great things damage the integrity of greatness. In the end, they become fake to themselves. Not a word of yours is genuine anymore." Jubila bursts into tears. "Zarathustra, it's true. I am not great. Everything about me is a lie. It's breaking me. It's breaking me." Zarathustra responds, "It is honourable to seek greatness, but it betrayed you. You're right. You are not great, and the best and most honest thing about you is that you are finally becoming tired of yourself. In that brief twinkle of an eye, you were genuine. What are you doing in my land? Looking for you, Zarathustra, the last great human." Zarathustra closes his eyes in silence. After a long pause, he opens them. "Well, there is the path to my cave. Ask my animals for advice. They will help you. As for a great human, I've never seen one. Even the best eyes today lack the skills for seeing what's truly great. Today belongs to the mob. Only fools look for greatness, and fools do succeed." Zarathustra walks away, laughing. "Looking for a great human? Who taught you to do that? Is now the time? Why did you test me?" Scene 6. Zarathustra continues through the forest. He hears something rustling from above and looks up to find the saint sitting anxiously in a tree. "Help! Please! Is someone? Please! Help! I'm lost. Hello?" Zarathustra motions to the saint. "What are you doing? Come down from there." The saint climbs down from the tree. "Zarathustra, there are wild animals all around. I have been looking everywhere for you. It's true. God is dead. I served him to the end. Looking for me, Zarathustra, the godless. I am more godless than you are now. Those who loved him the most lost him the most." Zarathustra pauses, then speaks. You served God to the end. Do you know how he died? The saint suffers quietly. Let him go. We both know who he was. The saint's voice trembles. He was harsh, vengeful, full of secrets. He liked to take revenge against his creations. Zarathustra stops him. It is honourable to say only good things now. The saint continues. But why didn't he speak more clearly? If our ears were poor, why did he give them to us? He died full of pity for the world. Zarathustra responds calmly. Did you see that with your own eyes? It may have happened that way, and others. Gods always die many deaths. Either way, he's gone. Let's not say anything worse. Isn't it better to have no God and make your own destiny? Or be a fool or God yourself? Zarathustra, you claim to be godless, but you're the most religious of all the non-believers. Could I stay with you for one night? There is nowhere else on earth I would feel better. Zarathustra answers with exuberance. Amen. It shall be so. He hears another cry of suffering. The path is there. I would walk with you, but I must go. For what you seek, I am still too weak. It will be a long wait before someone reawakens him, for the old god lives no more. Scene 7. Late morning. Zarathustra continues through the forest, forgetting for a moment that he is pursuing another cry of suffering. What splendid things this day has brought to make up for a bad beginning. A few paces later, he discovers a burnt section of forest. The trees are blackened, decayed, and the air smells of smoke. A charred, human-like figure, Gravos, squirms in the ashes. Careful, your pride will break its legs here. Solve my riddle. I took revenge against the witness. Who am I? Who took revenge against the witness? Zarathustra suddenly sinks down to his knees in terror and sympathy. He swiftly springs back to his feet. I know who you are. You are the ugliest human. You murdered God. Zarathustra turns to leave, and the figure begs at him. Wait, wait, please, don't leave. You solved it. You're the only one who knows how I feel. But don't look at me. Honour my ugliness. I'm no beggar. He had to die. His eyes saw everything. His pity knew no modesty or shame, peering into every corner of disgrace. Humans cannot bear such a witness. I wouldn't be alive if I didn't. The always watching, always compassionate God had to die. Zarathustra contemplates in silence. You have warned me of your way. In thanks, I will praise mine. My cave is there. You don't want to live among the moral humans? Then do as I do. Thus you will learn from me, for only the doer learns. Talk with my animals, the proudest and wisest. They are the right guides for us both. Zarathustra leaves Gravos and the burnt section of trees. How poor humans are today. How sick and full of hidden shame and self-hatred. I have never met one who despised himself so deeply. That, too, takes a kind of greatness. Humans must be overcome. Scene 8. Zarathustra passes through a small meadow and sees a cluster of cows assembled in a circle. He anxiously pushes through them and finds Corion seated and speaking to the cows. Don't be afraid. I won't harm you. Zarathustra interrupts him. What are you doing? Corion keeps his head down, the same thing as everyone else, looking for happiness. Corion makes eye contact with Zarathustra and jumps up. Zarathustra! Zarathustra pulls back in disbelief. Have you already thrown away your riches? Corion speaks with resignation. What difference is there between the rich and poor anymore? The poor have all become arrogant, envious, greedy, and full of resentment, and the rich are convicts with cold eyes and crude thoughts, desperate to pick any advantage out of any trash. The poor are no longer blessed, and the rich are nothing but the gilded, fake mob whose ancestors were pickpockets, rag sellers, and carrion birds. It's mob above and mob below. Zarathustra watches Corion closely. You harm yourself when you use such harsh words. Your eyes and mouth were not made for them. All this wrath and hatred, but you're no butcher. You're gentler, more of a plant-eater, maybe grain. Do you like honey? Corion tries to persuade. Zarathustra, these animals hold the key to happiness. They do not have bad thoughts or broken hearts like humans do. Zarathustra excitedly interjects. Well then, you should meet my animals. That path leads to my cave. Be its guest tonight and talk with them about the happiness of animals. Zarathustra hears another cry of suffering. I must go now. If you find any honey in my cave, eat it. Corion attempts to hug Zarathustra. Thank you, Zarathustra. You are still the one I love the most. Zarathustra resists. Go! Don't corrupt me. I said go. He lifts his staff and Corion runs down the path to the cave. Scene 9. Late morning. Zarathustra moves through the forest in search of the cry. He eventually discovers the audience, suspecting them as its source. Where has my solitude gone? He tries to run away from the audience, but realizes that it's futile. Don't the most ridiculous things happen to wanderers? He catches his breath and violently addresses the audience, breaking the fourth wall. What are you shadows doing here? I don't like you. You've been travelling on my heels far and wide, always moving with no home, chasing me everywhere, sitting on every surface like specks of dust thrown about by every wind. With me you've haunted cold, distant worlds like ghosts plunged into forbidden waters. There, you unlearned your faith in words, values, and great names. What do you want from me now? To give you back the innocence of your lies? Your goodness? Your belief in the good? You followed the heels of truth closely and were kicked in the face. But how much no longer concerns you now? His expression hardens. I still know your danger. Nothing you love is alive anymore. So how can you love yourself? You have no goals, no place to sail, no good wind. For only those who know where they are going know a good wind. What is left for your tired hearts, fluttering wings, and broken backbones? The search for a home consumes you, eternally everywhere and nowhere. You are my shadows, that much is true. Free spirits, your danger is not small. For those as restless as you, a prison would seem like happiness. Be careful that a narrow faith or delusion does not imprison you in the end. You have lost your goals, you poor, tired, wandering butterflies. Do you want a home tonight? Well, the path is there. In the evening there will be dancing in my cave. Zarathustra re-enters into the play, losing awareness of the audience and fourth wall. Considering himself alone, he stops and lays down by an old tree. The same old tree from the beginning of the play. Has everything only been a dream? Is he still alive? The sun shines directly overhead. Noon. What's happening to me? Did the world just become perfect? Is this my 7th day's rest? My strange soul is sailing into a quiet cove. The noon sleeps. Don't sing. Don't even whisper. The world is perfect. Time passes in silence. How little is needed for happiness? No, blasphemy. Precisely the softest, the lightest, the tiniest rustling, a breath, a breeze, a glance, makes for the best happiness. More time passes. Has time flown away? Have I fallen into eternal waters? What's happening to me? Did the world just become perfect? Where does the golden ring fly? He falls asleep and then quickly wakes himself up. Wake up, noon, napper. Get up, old legs. Many good roads still lie ahead. How long was I asleep? Half an eternity? Get up, old heart. He falls asleep again and talks quietly with his eyes closed. Leave yourself alone. Did the world just become a perfect golden ball? Get up, lazy thief. He opens his eyes and stares into the clear sky. Heaven above me, you look on and listen. When will you drink, my strange soul? When will the eternal waters of terror and joy drink my soul back into itself? He staggers to his feet in drunkenness and journeys back to his cave. A CT3. Scene 1. Late afternoon. Zarathustra arrives at his cave. The higher humans are sitting together at the large dining table. Moros, King, Zola, Jubiler, Saint, Gravos, and Corion. When Zarathustra enters, they all rise. You strange humans made it. Why am I not surprised? I lured you with honey and siren calls of happiness. But you are poor company right now. Someone must make you laugh again. Some old fool. What do you say? They remain silent out of fear and respect. Forgive me. Everyone becomes strong when they see others suffering. You may rest here. What's mine is yours tonight. The first thing I offer is security. The second is my pinky, and once you have that, you might as well take my whole hand and heart, too. Feel welcome here, my guests. The king steps forth. Zarathustra, your humble pride is uplifting. The sight of one towering tree can refresh an entire landscape. Who wouldn't climb a mountain to see it? We are proof that the waves around you are rising, and higher humans are coming. We want to learn to hope again from you, Zarathustra, the last great hope. The king shakes Zarathustra's hand, who pulls away. My guests, I will speak plainly. I have not been waiting for you in these mountains. You may be of a higher kind, but you're not high or strong enough. Those who stand on weak legs want attention and pity. I show neither to my warriors, so how could you be fit for my war? Many of you would collapse simply from hearing the beating of my drums. You are not beautiful or well-born enough. You carry too many burdens and sad memories. Evil trolls and hidden mobs still crouch in your crevices. My ideas need smooth, clean mirrors. Much in you is crooked and misshapen. No blacksmith in the world could hammer you straight enough for me. You are only bridges to those who will be stronger, higher, more cheerful and triumphant. The laughing lions, they are my highest hope, and I won't lift my feet from here without them. Moros nervously interrupts, attempting to restore a pleasant air. Zarathustra, we have journeyed a long way. Are you only going to feed us speeches? Your words of wisdom are like cold water, but not everyone is a born water drinker like you. Water doesn't suit the weak and weary. We deserve wine. That alone gives us strength. The king points to his cart outside. I have enough wine for everyone. The saint eagerly exclaims. Then all we need is bread. Zarathustra shakes his head no. I have no bread, but I do have 2 lambs. Slaughter and season them with sage, rinse the fruit, pull the roots, crack open the nuts, and we will soon have a good meal. Whoever eats by my side must help with the work. Even kings are cooks here. Moros yells out, Zarathustra, you glutton! Now I see why you praise poverty. Zarathustra smiles. Be cheerful, my friends. Abide by your customs. Praise your food, drink your wine, as long as it makes you happy. My kind are not sulky, gloomy, idle dreamers. They are healthy and wholesome, with strong bones and light feet, joyous in feasts and war. The best belongs to them, and if it's not given, they take it. The best food, the purest sky, the strongest thoughts, the most beautiful women. The king shouts in praise. For once, a philosopher who is not a jackass. The high humans laugh and begin preparing the food. Night falls. The interior of the cave is warmly lit with candles. The high humans sit together at the table, eating and talking. As they finish dinner, Gravos taps on his glass, drawing everyone's attention. Zarathustra, now will you finally tell us who you are and what we are all doing here? The group turns to Zarathustra. He pauses, nods in agreement, and begins. When I first visited Bovina, I was a fool. To my surprise, humans still believed in the superstitions good and evil. Morality was nothing more than bedtime stories for peaceful sleep. None of them believed in higher humans, only equality. And as I stood before them and spoke to all, I spoke to none. But a new dawn brought a new truth. What does the mob's noise matter? I returned and disturbed their slumber by teaching humans to create their own good and evil, and to laugh at their masters of morality, the saints, poets, academics, and all other black scarecrows perched on the tree of life. I myself laughed at the decaying glory of their past as I soared like a quivering arrow to distant futures no artist ever dreamed of before. My sky revealed new stars and nights that redeemed the past and created a human future to unify the randomness of fate. The moment God was buried, you higher humans were resurrected. Now there is much in you that gives me hope. You had the courage to despise and despair, and used your own legs to climb up here. Do you know why you feel sick? The future of humanity is struggling inside of you. Pregnancy involves sickness. Ask women. They don't do it because it's fun. None of you know how to live anymore. That is why you will live best. But you must become better and more evil. How else will you overcome the mob and its threats to life? They will be unjust and unfair. But if you are a star, you mustn't shine any less because of that. You will need the courage of an eagle no longer watched by God, the kind that looks pridefully into the abyss and grasps it with talons. Many weaklings call themselves good simply because they have no claws. Once you are capable of all evil, then let beauty, goodness, and kindness be your final self-conquest. For only in beauty will your longing finally disappear. It cannot be won by a powerful will. A little less, a little more, that is the way of beauty. Zarathustra observes that the higher humans are still suffering. It is dangerous to be heirs of life. History is full of reason, mistakes, and madness that have become embodied within you. New values need the voice of new waters. Make yourselves whole. Attempt and experiment. Sick bodies can be purified and elevated with knowledge and action. Do not fly away to empty eternities. Put yourself in your actions like the mother is in her child and lead life back to the body and earth. A full soul roams in its vastness, running back and forth on the widest circle, becoming and wanting to become more out of love for itself. There are 1,000 hidden islands of life and paths of health that have never been explored. Zarathustra waits as the higher humans sit in silence. Finally, the king speaks up. How did you find your own way, Zarathustra? I never pursued my way. I reached my truth in many ways. Every move was a questioning, testing, and answering guided by my honesty. Take good care of yours. There is nothing more precious or rare. And remember, whoever can't lie doesn't know what the truth is. Zarathustra stands. You all sit and wonder when you will feel whole, when your heart flows like a full river as a blessing and danger to those who are near, when you despise the soft beds of comfort and contentment, when your loving will wants to command all things and sees every change as a necessity. That marks the great noon, when the sun of knowledge stands overhead and rejoices that all gods are dead, and higher humans live. Corian lifts up his glass. To Zarathustra, something to believe in again. The group cheers and drinks to Zarathustra, who scolds them in anger. No, 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 stop that. Leave me. Be ashamed of me. Perhaps I deceived you. You all believe in Zarathustra. What do I matter? What if one day my wisdom falls? Will you let a statue kill you? Your belief does not make me holy. least of all your belief in me. What do all believers matter? Only those who reject submission and create their own will count as my equals. All who choose themselves will form a chosen people. You had not sought yourself, so you found me. Now you must lose me and find yourself. Zarathustra looks over the higher humans. What do you all think I am doing? Showing you restless climbers new and easier paths? What are your small, short miseries to me? You all don't suffer enough. None of you have suffered from what I have suffered. My love will not spare you. It will always be harder and require greater sacrifice. Zarathustra calmly strides over to the king's crown and takes it off his head. Do you know how gold attained the highest value? As an image of the highest virtue, uncommon, shining softly, and always giving of itself. Giving is the subtlest art of kindness. The eyes of the giver shine like gold. If you store riches in your soul, then you yourself will be a gift. The lack of a gift, giving soul means a diseased body. Degenerates always say, everything for me. Every great abundance overflows with riches, pouring endless treasure into the sea, so that even the poorest fisherman rows with golden oars. Its light travels on like a dying star. When will it ever stop? Zarathustra pauses, searching their faces and hearts, then resumes. You all sit there like shameful animals who failed an attack. If something great failed you, does that mean that you yourselves are failures? The higher the type, the more rarely it succeeds. Haven't you all failed? What does that matter? Wasn't it only a dice roll? How much is still possible? How much has already succeeded? You weary spirits haven't learned to joke and play as you must. He walks over to the gramophone. Humans have always felt too little joy. That is their original sin. Every truth without a good laugh is false, and only one thing is impossible: rationality. He plays bright, lively music, places the crown on his head and dances freely about the cave, beckoning the others to join. Isn't it better to be foolish from happiness than foolish from misery? Better to dance awkwardly than limp along? All wisdom without foolishness is foolish. The higher humans slowly and reservedly join him until they are all laughing and dancing in the cave. Zarathustra speaks loudly over the music. You heavy-footed animals, unlearn your mob sadness. Dance like the wind that rushes from this cave as the spirit of all free spirits, a spirit that hates the mob's gloomy, withering life. Storm over their swamps of sadness. Blow dust into the eyes of the bleak and miserable. What does a long life matter? What does it matter if you have failed? How much is still possible? Lift your hearts higher and learn to laugh at yourselves. Zarathustra jumps on top of the table and takes the crown off his head. Now, I throw this to you. He tosses the crown back to the king, who puts it on and leaps around. The crown of laughter is holy. You higher humans, learn to laugh. Zarathustra spins, jumps down and exits outside as the dancing continues in the cave. Scene 2. Night. Inside the cave, Jubila mischievously turns off the music. He's gone. You higher humans, if I may call you that. I do love that monster against my will. But he's gone. Sit down. Sit down. I know you are still suffering. The old god is dead. The higher humans sit down at the table. Jubila moves freely around the room. You enemies of truth, the day is dying, and night falls on all things. Beneath these new, fake, colourful masks, you are still miserable and exhausted. Zarathustra's malicious son mocks your pain. He pounces on your souls, thirsty for blood. The foolish poet invents words of false heavens and earths, laughing as he tears to pieces the living God in you. Praise God! Night falls on all things. Every colour drowns in evening air. What is Zarathustra but a foolish poet? Beneath these masks, you are still in the desert. Zola stands up and challenges Jubila. Why are you saying this? Are you trying to lead us back into a prison? Jubila shoots back. Quiet. Good speeches like to echo with resonance. Perhaps you didn't understand it. Anyway, my evil spirit is gone. Now, am I really to blame? Did I create it? And the entire world, too? Be cheerful and merry. Zarathustra will love me again, for he loves his enemies and takes revenge on his friends. Moros stands and signals to the higher humans. A little revenge is more human than none. The higher humans chase after Jubila, who turns the music back on, dodging and giggling frantically. The joyful spirit is soon restored to the cave as they talk, laugh and dance. Outside, Zarathustra sits alone. Happy silence and pure air. Where are my animals? Itos and Cyril appear. What do you think of these humans in my cave now? They are biting. Your bait is working. Their stupid shame and disgust are disappearing. Soon their spirits will be playful. Zarathustra closes his eyes. Yes, who knows, maybe even at my expense. Well, even if they have learned to laugh from me, it's still not my laughter. They are recovering in their own ways, Zarathustra. Your ears have endured worse without becoming grumpy. Indeed, my animals. Today is a victory. The sky is clear. The world is deep. Life is meaningful. The best sign is that they are thankful again. Zarathustra smells burning incense. What's that smell? What are they doing now? He hurries inside the cave and beholds the spectacle. The higher humans are kneeling and praying before the mounted donkey's head. A small shrine has been set up with candles, incense, and a semicircle of stones. Gravos leads the ceremony as the higher humans chant after him. Dear donkey, wise, rugged donkey, wise, rugged donkey, our new, your silent wisdom is wrapped in humble fur, humble fur, humble fur. Your patient heart loves the earth. Long live the earth. Your kingdom lies beyond good and evil. Beyond good and evil. Amen, donkey. Amen. Donkey, donkey, donkey. Donkey, donkey, donkey. A new God lives. Zarathustra storms in and begins pulling them to their feet. What are you fools doing? Get up! Up! He grabs the saint's arm. They convinced you too? Forgive me, Zarathustra, but isn't it better to praise this God than none at all? Zarathustra walks over to Gravos. Nonsense! Who did this? Was it you? Oh, Zarathustra, the death of gods is only a mere prejudice. This one seems credible enough. Couldn't your own wisdom turn you into a jackass? Who really knows if God is dead, lives, or lives again? But I know one thing, and I learned it from you. Whoever wants to kill thoroughly laughs. The higher humans break out in laughter. You strange actors, are you sure it was a prank? I saw the joy you had praying like little children. Perhaps you can leave this nursery now and cool your playful hearts out in the world. For only when you become like children can you enter the kingdom of heaven. The king replies cheerfully, We want the kingdom of the earth. Zarathustra smiles. How much I like you now that you are joyful again. Do not forget this night. Gravos steps forward, transformed. My friends! One day in this cave has taught me that life is meaningful and to love living on the earth. I want to live once more. How about you? For Zarathustra's sake, once more. The higher humans shout once more and applaud as the old bell rings outside. They laugh, joke, and personally thank Zarathustra one by one while he stands frozen in a trance. The old bell rings again, louder. Zarathustra speaks as if possessed. Midnight is here. He exits the cave. and the higher humans follow curiously behind. The world is sleeping. Some things are only heard by nocturnal souls. I will whisper to you what that old bell whispers to me. A dog howls in the distance. The dog howls. The moon shines. The dew is falling. Have we sunk into eternal waters? I'd rather die than say what's in my heart. Perhaps I'm already dead? He collapses, then rises again. Who will command the rivers? Who has the heart for it? The wind is silent. Higher humans, beware this midnight air. He picks up the pace, ascending the mountain to the old bell. Now my soul dances, all in a day's work, all in a day's work. You can dance now, but legs are not wings. Have I flown high enough? All happiness is gone up here. Do you hear that music? Ripe as golden autumn. Free the dead, awaken the corpses. Midnight is brighter than daylight. The world is deep. Can you feel my drunken happiness? Can you smell the rose-gold wine of eternity? Are you there, unknown midnight souls? You shall be the masters of the earth. Zarathustra touches the old bell, alone in reverence. Did the world just become perfect? The higher humans join him at the summit. Zarathustra addresses them with piercing clarity. You bleeding humans, why do you thank my drunken cruelty? You suffer because you are unripe, but that steers you towards ripening. All suffering longs to end. Do you want Zarathustra and his happiness? What am I but sweet, drunken music? An ominous midnight bell-frog that no one understands. I may be profound, but I am no god. Do not reach out for me. Create better hands and reach towards any god instead. Lightning strikes the nearby tree, which burns brightly. Light misty rain falls, slowly extinguishing it. Zarathustra speaks to the higher humans and audience as one. You higher humans, what am I? A prophet? Dreamer? Psychic? Drunkard? Drop of dew? Midnight, the scent of eternity? Can you sense it? Midnight is noon, and my world just became perfect. Run from me now, or you will learn a wise man is also a fool. Have you ever said yes to a single happiness? My friends, then you said yes to all pain and suffering. All things are entangled. If you ever wanted a single moment twice, then you wanted it all back again, eternally the same. Then you loved the world. Every joy wants and needs the eternity of all things. Love, hate, honey, graves, heaven, hell, noon, midnight. Joy bites into itself with the will of the ring, hungrier, thirstier, and more secret than all suffering. This sacred joy longs for your pain and failures. It wants itself, so it wants its suffering. You higher humans, learn this. All suffering longs to end, and all joy wants eternity, deep eternity. Now, have you learned my song? The higher humans each recite a line. Higher humans, beware the midnight air. Awake from sleep. The world is deep, and suffers everywhere. But suffering longs to end, and joy wants eternity, and all eternity again. Blackout. Scene 3. The next morning, the higher humans are sprawled across the cave, sleeping. Zarathustra wakes, steps outside, and speaks to the sun. Great star! What would your happiness be without those for whom you shine? They are still asleep, dreaming of my drunken songs. They do not understand the signs of my morning. Well, I did not wait here for them. Aetos and Cyril come to his side. My animals are awake. They are the right ones for me. Zarathustra sits on the nearby stone. A flock of doves flies by. A lion roars in the distance. His eyes fill with tears of joy and sorrow. The higher humans awaken and walk outside, but the lion roars.